Sevilla stand in the way of Manchester United progressing to the semi-finals of the Europa League on Thursday night. United had a golden opportunity to decide the tie at Old Trafford last week after two brilliant goals from Marcel Sabitzer, but that comfortable advantage was somehow thrown away in the final stages, which meant the contest ended 2-2. Erik ten Hag's side defeated Nottingham Forest at the weekend, and they are now hoping to secure another win against Sevilla at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium, which would mean progression to the semi-final of the Europa League. Regarding the early team news, Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw and Marcel Sabitzer took part in first-team training at Carrington on Wednesday morning, but there was no sign of Scott McTominay, who is set to miss the trip. Bruno Fernandes is also suspended for the game after receiving a yellow card in the first leg last week. It would not be underestimating Sevilla to start Rashford on the bench. Sevilla are a poor side that United let off the hook last week, and they face a much better team in Brighton on Sunday. Rashford is needed more at Wembley than in Spain. Rashford is also an invaluable game-changer to call upon. Luke Shaw is essential in the back four, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka would be the safe pick at right back, though it is arguable his selection is more pressing up against Kaoru Mitoma on Sunday. Marcel Sabitzer has to replace Bruno Fernandes as the number 10, given his goal-scoring form against Sevilla. United will definitely have to make one change from their weekend win over Nottingham Forest, with midfield talisman Bruno Fernandes set to miss the match through suspension. Ten Hag has plenty of options to try and replace Fernandes, and it will be fascinating to see how he does it. Christian Eriksen is the most obvious choice to play in a more advanced role, while Sabitzer could also be an option if he passes a late fitness test. Rashford only returned to training yesterday and should not be rushed back, which means Sancho should retain his role. The return of Shaw and Rashford to training on Wednesday was great news, and both players should start here, considering what is at stake. Wan-Bissaka is edging the battle with Dalot and should start on the opposite side of the defense to Shaw. In midfield, Casemiro, Eriksen and Sabitzer are the logical choices. Fernandes is suspended after picking up a yellow card last week, but Sabitzer has played as a no. 10 in recent weeks, and that's a role in which he's impressed. Antony and Martial should make up the remainder of the attack with Rashford. Although Sancho has played on the left in Rashford's absence, he's not seized those opportunities, and he has a point to prove from the bench. Despite the extent of United's current injury list, Ten Hag is not without big decisions to make, particularly at right back. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot have regularly rotated in recent weeks, with the former getting the nod in the role again against Forest at the weekend, meaning he should retain his place. In the opposite fullback position, Shaw, should he be fit enough, should be recalled to the starting lineup, ahead of almost certainly being tasked with playing at centre-back at the weekend. He needs minutes ahead of a stern test against Brighton. Sabitzer is a sensible replacement for the suspended Fernandes in the no. 10 position, meaning he should join forces with Eriksen and Casemiro in the engine room. Rashford will be chomping at the bit to return to the starting lineup, but Ten Hag could play it safe and refuse to throw him straight in, instead choosing to stick with the same front three started at Forest.
Now